Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
You don't see the curvature of the earth. That stuff is flat.
GLOBEBUSTERS taking over. Bye bye moonlight and rover. NASA so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is. Get the shovel for the space hubble. Piecing up the puzzle. Need to burst your bubble. Evil gonna crumble, yeah. Sit down, be humble. Got the ball, you better fumble. You'll get mad, cause at this fight I'm about your uncle.
And then they call me the liar. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable the pathetic techniques that they have to use to prove their heliocentric model.
Bob shot the president, Jeran got the evidence. Arrow slaying Jesuits and Zack shark is evident. Dead to earth electric and it's resonant. Your resident is heavens and I hope to settle in like some sediment. If we so wrong, why they lying to discredit it? That's not too intelligent. That's a guy, not an in court, but we.
Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so.
Okay, that's my bad. I restarted the scene, but we're just gonna start it. Alright. Welcome to GLOBEBUSTERS episode 11, season 11. My bad on the intro. I tried to swap scenes and it restarted the song, so we're just gonna rock with it. I titled it Refraction Can't Save You. So we have a pretty good little thing to talk about today. Should be interesting, as we all know. Basically, to believe in the globe, you have to think that pretty much everything is an illusion. That's a still man, and that every time we see things in the distance where they would be if the earth is flat, it's all refraction, and refraction consistently just makes the earth look like it's flat and lifts things up to our eye level to imitate a flat earth. So, of course, then the question would be, if refraction is disproven or cannot save you, what would that mean? And almost every globe earth proponent would tell you reluctantly that if refraction wasn't true, if their claim of refraction isn't correct, it would falsify the globe. So should be interesting. All right, we got a couple legends on the panel per usual. Let's start with my boy Jeran. What's going on, bro? You know, just living the dream. I don't even know how far we got into the song. yeah, I think only you guys heard that part, but yeah. It's all good. I went off studio mode, just restarted the scene. I'm like, what in the world? All right, Zack from Good Times for All. How's it going, bro? Nice. You want to shoot out the date and stuff for those who don't know?
Oh, could you hear me?
Maybe not. You didn't say anything anyway. All right, Zack, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. Zack was talking about how awesome I am.
Yeah, I gave an effort rant to start, man. If you can hear it.
You saw. Yeah, apparently this was muted right here.
Jeran went off. You guys didn't get to hear it.
Yeah, Jeran actually rapped and everything. Jeran said another day, another dollar. And Zack was talking about Flattoberfest. I'm sorry, brother. Shout out to
no
Jeran
worries.
for letting us know. But yeah, if you can kind of go back into that.
I've been working on some new things for Flattoberfest, presentation-wise. It's going to be outside at a music festival this time. So I get to bring propane tanks with, fire stuff and make a lot more noise than I would be able to if we were indoors, with the speakers speaking and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have some cymatic stuff this year. That's going to be awesome. And we're setting up this moon thing that we're going to hope to be having running the whole time, to where you can stand underneath it and watch the moon as it would be going across the sky. You can watch it wagon wheel right in front of you. It'll take about a minute to do a revolution. And depending on where you're standing, you can see it, go clockwise, counterclockwise. You could stand at the North Pole and just watch it go around you. And I have a little presentation for today to kind of show what I'm talking about. We covered it Thursday on GLOBEBUSTERS Tech, and I think people are finally starting to wrap their head around it. I think I finally figured out a way to show it to where people can actually get what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's fun, man. I've been having a lot of fun this last week, just getting stuff ready. I love this stuff. I love sharing my toys with people and letting them play with them.
Nice, very cool. So yeah, apologies everyone, I'm a little rusty. But cool, yeah, Flattoberfest, and then we'll let Zack present the wagon wheel stuff here in a sec. Shout out to Justin Johnson. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Much love, bro. Rose 777 5.0. No audio from Jeran. All we hear is Austin. Isn't that how you wanted it, though? That's all right.
Half the audience was probably happy to start.
Yeah. Dude, I do it almost every time, bro. It's so fun. Or like, because I always have desktop muted or it'll echo, and then I start my show and I forget. So I'll like do a debate review and everyone's like, we can't hear that. And I'm like 10 minutes in. Okay. Also, of course, if you want to support the show, Ko-fi.com/GLOBEBUSTERS. We'll pin the link in the YouTube chat. We're also on Rockfin. We're probably going to finish the show there. So that's rockfin.com/GLOBEBUSTERS. The last hour, maybe hour and a half, will probably be on Rockfin. Talk about some adult topics. So make sure that you follow us over there or are prepared to do so. All right, cool. So I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see the video that Taboo put out a little less than a day ago?
No, let's watch.
What was it? Which one?
Laser proves our flat Earth.
Oh yeah, that one was awesome.
So let me transition. Yeah, so this is where I came up with the title here, and we'll talk about it. I've made this argument a few times back in the day, and I love to hear Taboo putting it in his video because I have yet to hear a rebuttal. Frankly, there is no rebuttal, and we'll talk about it. But so if you guys are cool, let's just watch this like 6-minute video. And yeah, I think it's pretty telling. Let me actually go full screen for everyone. All right, and you guys should hear it as well.
Everyone. Today I have more exciting, demonstrable evidence of our flat Earth, proven again by lasers. This video evidence comes from our friend Lee. He doesn't have a channel, but he has shared his laser tests with us before. A big thanks to Lee for emailing me the video and sharing his work. The 3-year-old video of mine showing Lee's work was titled 16.4 mile laser test confirms flat Earth. I'll have a link to that video in the description. It's one of my favorites. As you can see, Lee's old footage was amazing, and I've shared it a few times since. Back then, Lee was able to film a laser at a distance of 16.4 miles. It really is awesome work. For this test, he was able to increase that distance to 23 miles. As you can see here, the laser on the left was at 14.4 miles. The laser on the right was at 23 miles. And yet, they're on the same level plane. The one on the left should have been hidden 95 feet below the horizon, if the globe were real. The one on the right should be 285 feet below the Earth bulge. But they're on the same line at the horizon. Do you really think that mirages can selectively do that? No, the flat Earth is a reality. Enjoy Lee's video.
Down a bit. Boom. Can you keep it there?
So on Kootenai Lake,
Real fast, I found this quote. I did not know this quote was a thing. Copernicanism is one of the last great attacks made by Lucifer upon the evolution of man. Rudolf Steiner. That is no chump. If you know anything about David Avocado, he's big on Rudolf Steiner, but that dude was like a genius. So I found that pretty interesting.
Sounds like a flat earther to me.
So on Kootenai Lake in south central BC, I found this great little line of sight for a flat earth test. And it's going from a place called Walker's Landing or Powerline Beach to a place called Caslow Point, which is 14.4 miles away. So at 14.4 miles, with our camera set up at 3 feet off the water, you're looking at like 100 feet of curvature. And if you subtract, say, 5 feet for the height of the laser, you're looking at 95 feet of curvature. And then we also got a green laser set up at 23 miles up the lake at a place called Schroeder Creek. And there I got my friend Darren with the green laser set up. And at 23 miles, with the camera at 3 feet off the water, you're looking at 290 feet of curvature. Subtracting 5 feet for the height of the laser, it's 285 feet. And just to give you an idea, from the water to the bottom of the torch of the Statue of Liberty is 285 feet.
This is Steve out here in Caslow, BC. Doing a flat earth experiment with a laser beam. We got 3 people. One of them is north end of the lake in Schroeder Creek up that way. And then I am at the lighthouse in Caslow. And then we got Lee and his boys just to the left of that opening there, where the 2 pieces of land come together. Just to the left of that is Ryandale, BC.
We did before when you were down there the first time.
What do you see it reflecting on though? Like off the water?
No, it's just like a flash of blue.
In the air.
Oh, there it is. Dude, gotcha. Get down there with the camera.
It's on.
Gotcha. Wherever it was, buddy, you just nailed it. Is that in the right area?
Yeah, it's in the right area.
Oh, dude, no, it's not. Yeah, come on, Sonny, it's over here. Get down there and start looking for it. Yeah, dude, we just got you.
Okay, I'm just keeping on doing exactly what I was doing.
There, you're in the right direction. Just saw you again.
Did not see him.
There.
Negative.
Yeah. Okay, good boy.
Oh, there.
Dude,
Oh yeah, you're doing it right again and again.
I can see you completely.
Get it on the camera, boys.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna see if I get it with just the camera here. I'm just gonna take out the phone.
Keep doing that. You're getting it. Sweet.
No, it's...
Perfect.
I'm missing him now. He's not there.
Dude, I'm getting it every single time. He's just flashing
you're
me.
recording it.
And I'm recording it. Dude, I've got so many.
So yeah, while we weren't watching the camera, we get a flash of the laser. But we don't know that we've seen the laser at this point. Well, I don't know, man, you might just have to take it off and sort of just like wave it up and down or do something like that. And yeah, we've caught you once. Oh, look, right there. Yeah, you're on it.
Oh,
there it is. You're doing it, buddy. Keep going.
Yes! Sonny, move!
Okay. So Taboo said it, but this is the reason that this is a major problem. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay. So you have the cameras at the same heights, and you have them at different distances, significantly different distances. So say that you have to invoke refraction here, right, as a globe earther, because the laser should obviously be blocked by Earth curvature. Well, okay, so you're saying that the light's bending to the more dense medium and then thus effectively curving around the globe to the observer, right? Well, since these lasers are at the same height, the cameras are at the same height, but they're at different distances. If they're both refracting around the globe, whatever rate of refraction you need to invoke, which of course all they do, it's not like they actually go out and get the variables and put it in a calculation that's been proven scientifically in a lab or something. Right, they just say, okay, it has to be bending this much if the Earth's a globe, since I know my belief I was indoctrinated with since I was 5 couldn't be wrong. Therefore, it must effectively mean the laser's bending this much, and they just move the slider around, right? We've talked about that extensively. So if you do that with, say, the first laser, the blue one on the left, right, 14.4 miles, you're going to get a certain rate. Now, that means that based on the atmospheric conditions, whether that be the vertical temperature gradient, right? So the temperature change vertically as you get up higher off the water, the density layer gradient, right? And they say humidity is less of a factor, etc. If you accounted for all the variables that are present there, according to them, it would make that laser bend that much. And they're just saying that because it would have to. So we're obviously looking through the same air, the same temperature gradients, the same vertical density gradients, which means we're going to have the same refraction, right? If you're going to grant them refraction for sake of conversation, for intents and purposes, you have the same refraction, you have the same atmo, it's the same place, it's the same lake. Okay, that means that if that green laser is also refracting, which of course it has to be for the globe, they're both refracting at the same rate because it's the same refractive conditions. But on the globe, that green laser should be significantly lower than the blue one because it's further away. So even if it were to refract and bend around the globe, the green and blue laser, the green one, when observed, because you're seeing the green laser, but according to the globe, it's not actually there. You're not actually seeing the green laser, it's behind the curve. Where you should see it should be lower than the blue laser because it's 10 miles further, right? Because on a globe, of course, the further and further away you get, the further down it goes. The fact that the lasers are at the same elevation, perceivably, right? The same height, directly refutes the globe, even if you assumed refraction. Refraction cannot explain this observation because with refraction, the green laser has to be significantly lower than the blue one. So there is no, of course, on a flat Earth, we know that 5 feet above the water at 14 miles is just 5 feet above the water at 23 miles because we live on a level plane that's extended all the way out to those lasers, right? So 5 feet above it is 5 feet here, same it is over there. So we expect to see them at the same height.
Super impressive that they were able to even see the lasers at that distance. That's not easy to do. And to get 2 of them pointed at it at the same time, yeah, kudos to these guys. I know they had a lot of trouble finding the laser in Balaton when they did the test over Lake Balaton. That was like one of the main hurdles they had to jump over, was getting it to where they could actually see the laser and just point it in the right direction. So yeah, great job. Do you know who this is? Does Ben share it?
Yeah, he said
in
his
the
name.
description.
It says Old Lee. So Lee, he's clearly from Canada. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, great job.
I mean,
Rudolf Steiner thought that the Earth was a tetrahedron, by the way. You would think he was flat, but he had some off-the-wall thoughts that we're a pyramid and that the edges of the pyramid are the mountain ranges. I haven't looked into it much besides that.
So I mean, we see though. I mean, I'm just 95 feet of curvature or 285 feet of curvature. That means that this laser should be, the blue laser should be higher than the green laser. Right? I mean, by multiple. I mean, you know, almost 200 feet higher. I mean, lower.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That green laser is evidently not 200 feet lower than the blue one. So you know what I'm saying? So like if we lived on a globe and there was just refraction, if you say you had like, I've gone through this thought experiment with globe earthers before, because there's another one, and maybe his, that was in Canada. It was over a frozen lake. There were these lasers of different colors at different distances, and they're like, oh, it's just refraction or whatever, like over a frozen lake. And then of course it's like a religion. They don't even think about it. They just say it. They don't even think it. For them, no observation could ever show you anything about the nature of the Earth when it comes to long distance observations. Right, so they don't even consider it or dissect what it is. But anyway, I'm like, okay, whatever. Look, they're different color lasers at different distances, but they're all at the same height. And their brain just shut down. And then they tried to say that they weren't at different heights and that the ones further did look lower and that the footage wasn't good enough or whatever, right? So, I mean, hopefully the concept seems simple to me, right? But hopefully everyone understands it. If I'm standing on a globe, the Earth's curving down and away from my feet. The further away I go from my feet, the further down something's going to be in relation to my feet, because it's further and further below me because the Earth is curving. So, I mean, am I missing something? Right? Like there is no refraction. Can't save you.
No.
No, but I mean, they use it for everything, and they have even already admitted that we'd be able to see our own ass if the refraction was right. So that's basically them just saying, stop all your long distance observations because none of them will ever prove anything. The globe got it covered.
Yeah, this just doesn't. It just doesn't help them though, because like, yeah, that helps them with a singular observation, you know. But like, I mean, even though it's just made up fairy tales, it's unfalsifiable. It's unfalsifiable in those scenarios, but it's falsifiable here. That we're looking to the same atmos, so it's like, okay, the light's bending to the more dense portion of the medium according to you. It's bending around the globe. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you went out and let's say we had 3, 4, 5 distances, and everything lines up at the same spot, then you have falsified it.
There's no way, right? Because all along that visual corridor is the same atmo. It's the same refractive conditions. So, I mean, they could obviously say, no. What really happened was, and what's funny is if they say something like this, I don't care to say it out loud because it's going to be hilarious because we can just replicate this, certainly over frozen lakes with multiple different lasers, right? It doesn't have to be this far, bro. It doesn't even have to be this far. It just has to be different distances. You could have 10 lasers with different colors, or even if the colors overlapped, like have them separated, you know? And you would want different colors. But anyway, you could just have them lined all the way along the frozen lake. On a flat Earth, the frozen lake is flat. So as you see the lasers, you're going to see them at the same height if you measured the same height above the ice. But on a globe, if they're all at 5 feet above the ice, they are at different heights relative to you, right? If you drew a straight line out from you, even though they're all 5 feet, it's just like how they say level is curved, right? If I build a bridge or a building and I connect line segments, because what we do is we build in small horizontal segments and we connect them, right? All flat. And they say, oh, well, yeah, you do that like it's flat, but it's automatically being accounted for, the curvature is over time or whatever. So even though level just means equal distance above the earth, right? Equal distance above the earth is what they would say level is, and level is curved or whatever. Right? So
from the center, they would say.
Yeah, which would be equal distance above the surface for intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so that means like all those line segments, it's like, say we built them 5 feet, like we're building a bridge that's just 5 feet tall or whatever. It's like, okay, each line segment's 5 feet above the ground. Well, they'll say, yeah, sure, that's level. You maintain level. You connected the horizontal line segments, but it's actually curving over the course of that, say, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles that you built the bridge. Even though it's all 5 feet, it's actually curving, right? Because relative to the center of mass. So, I mean, I think everyone gets it, but I'm like just saying it a few different ways. So you would have to say something like, oh, well, after the 14 miles, the refractive conditions changed, right? And it was way more extreme. It brought it up, but that still wouldn't work because you're not going to have like a continuous rate of refraction to bend it around the globe. You're going to have a distinct difference, like a cutoff, basically. But I don't even think that they're insane enough to claim that just coincidentally, right past 14 miles, everything changed significantly, right? But if they said that, you could just prove them wrong. For one, you could just take measurements of the variables at both distances, right? So whoever has the lasers can just measure the temperature right above the water, the temperature 5 feet above the water, all this stuff, and they could show that they're the same. Of course they're the same. They're 10 miles away on the same lake. Of course the temperature isn't different at 14 miles and 23 miles. If you think that the vertical temperature gradient is significantly different between these two lasers, then you're just like a religious fanatic. You know, I don't even think they would be that crazy. So.
The only thing I could see them saying, which I mean, using the green and the blue isn't that bad because they're both real close on the wavelength spectrum. But I would have been happier if they would have used the same color lasers because they do bend it according to the refractive index and all that. Different colors bend at different amounts, but the blue one should be actually bending more.
Oh, but they can't do that. They can't do that because I've used that to back them into a corner before. And when I say, like, the reason I say stuff like that is because, like, I talk to like 10 of them at a time or 20 of them over the course of 2 weeks is like the best they got, you know, like Ruif, Jesse, all these people, like all being coached by McToon and FTFE and all these people all working together, right? They say, oh, but that's negligible. The color difference is negligible because I point out that when we use different color lasers, like in the military, if really they're looking line of sight at their target and they're doing target acquirement and they're hitting it, and you're claiming that it just looks like the target's there, but really it's because of refraction, right?
Yeah.
So say we shoot a laser, say even ground to ground, right? And so we're on a ship, on a carrier ship, we have a laser weapon, and these exist, of course, and we're going to shoot a target that's 3 miles away. What they do is they look at the target. They have visual target acquirement, meaning they line it up in their crosshairs and they shoot the laser at it and they hit it literally and blow it up. Right? It's a physical weapon that they use to blow things
minuscule.
up.
Yeah, the measurements taken in nanometers.
Right. So
to
now
give people an idea of how little it is.
So imagine, of course, what they're saying is, oh, well, really that target isn't there. It just looks like it's there. I'm like, oh, so they're shooting at something that's not there, but they're able to hit it. And they say, oh, but it's because the laser refracted and bent at the exact same rate that the light from the target did. Right? Okay, so I'm like,
but
wait.
They've already stepped themselves into that corner.
Exactly. I'm like, wait, don't different wavelengths bend at different rates? Oh, it's negligible. So you're saying if no matter what color laser I shoot at, it's going to be the same as the ambient light. It's all going to bend at the exact same rate so that you can hit very precise targets down to the millimeter. And even that on its face is insane. But that's what they have to claim. That's what they have to claim just based on simple military technology, right? So they can't claim anything about the colors here at all. And then when I bring up, oh, well, we could test refraction by taking different color lasers, move them back on a frozen lake at the same height, right? Obviously, you should have the laser closer to the infrared end of the spectrum disappear sooner, according to you guys, because it refracts less. But we'll see the infrared laser or the near infrared laser longer, right? Because it cuts through the atmos. And they're like, oh, well, that'll be negligible. I'm like, oh, first, it's such a small amount is what they say, right? For the infrared argument. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's either before or after. It doesn't matter if it's like 0.000001%, even though it's not. It's up to like 17% according to certain lab tests and conditions. But you see what I'm saying? Like if the red laser is visible longer, it doesn't matter how much longer. Because that means the fact it refracts less means it wouldn't be as visible. So anyway, based on the other arguments I've thrown at these people, they're really trapped. And this to me seemed inevitable that over time, while they're making all these claims and they're doing it in like a cult fashion, they're all just unanimously adopting the new cover story. We've dwindled them down now where they're stuck. And then you have something like this. They can't make something up for this without stepping on their toes from previous arguments, And that's what happens when you're lying, or like
lies conflicting with each other. Yeah. Great video, just awesome. Well done.
Yeah, I think this is lethal, bro. Especially obvious subsequent replication and stuff is always preferred, but yeah. Anyway, I thought it was cool, and I'm glad that Taboo pointed it out. Like, it's not just that we're seeing the lasers too far. It's like, in addition to that, we're seeing them at the same level. And you can say, no, it looks like the green one's a little bit lower. It's like, no, it just looks like the green one's a little bit further. And they're like at the same level. That should be 200 feet below. So, they can say whatever they want. You see, actually, like, it looks like the divergence of the blue is a little bigger. But... yeah, anyway, I don't know what you guys think, but I think that certainly over a frozen lake, different color lasers, like kind of like the lasers we were looking at, Jeran, that like I think it's they claim that after 5 miles it's like 6-inch divergence.
Yeah.
And like you could maybe rent those lasers, and if you could rent a couple different colors, and I don't know if they offer different colors or anything like that, and just pull them back on a frozen lake and do everything perfectly, right? Like you drill into the ice to maintain or to establish level, all that. There's really no way around it. And I don't think you even need to go this far. Just put the camera really close to the ice, maybe a foot. That way the laser should be blocked really quick. And then, but anyway, this does it, but they'll just deny this. They'll say they're not at the same level, I'm guessing is all they'll say. So,
hey, Zack, remember Grotto 1's video is the one that has all the colored lasers on the ice?
Yeah.
Do you know how his name is spelled?
Was it 2 T's?
And then the number 1 or O-N-E?
I think it was the number 1.
I'm just trying to find it. And then I saw a comment. Somebody asked a question from Yeshua Savior. Says, guys, quick question. What moves faster, sun or moon on the FE model? Because Dave's app has the sun, little hand, after moon, moving faster than big hand than moon. Well, the sun takes 24 hours to go around, and the moon takes 24 hours and 50 minutes. So that should tell you that the sun is faster. All right, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
To find Grotto 1 here.
By the way, if someone can do me a favor, if you want to donate, will you donate to Ko-fi just so I can see if it pops up on the activity feed? Jeran, I did this new thing. You can pop out a separate screen that supposedly updates live and tells you the donations.
Is it like it gives you all a list of them?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think I saw it last week. I'm not sure if it worked. You just popped it out in its own browser.
Well, maybe it won't work. I don't know. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's I don't know. I just thought that to me, I love arguments like this. I love where it's like, yeah, of course we see. I'm a flat earther because I went all over the place and saw things way too far all the time. You know what I'm saying? And when it's clear outside, you can see further. There isn't more refraction when it's clear outside. It's just that it's clear outside, so I can see further, and then I'm seeing what's there better because I can see further because it's clearer. And like my real life experience repeatedly showed me that when it's clear outside, I can see things from super far away, far beyond what they're supposed to be. And many other things, right? The preponderance of evidence, as Bob said. But this is like, yeah, we're seeing it too far. And then the ad hoc excuse that they believe is unfalsifiable, which is why they pretend to be so confident in it, because they're like, what are you going to ever do to debunk it, is like refuted with this, right? Like that's game, set, match, really. Like if you don't have refraction, I mean, can we all agree that like if the globe earthers can't say the reason that we see too far is refraction and it's just game over. Like, I think even they would admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Well, cool. All right. We can move on. You guys got something else you want to bring up, or Zach, do you want to do your little presentation?
Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. I could probably get done about a half hour or so.
All right. You want to, someone said, can you drop the Ko-fi link? I think it should be pinned at the top of the YouTube chat. I'll drop it again, but it should be pinned at the very top of the chat. Ko-fi.com/GLOBEBUSTERS. You want to share screen, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
All right. Let me stop sharing.
Bring this up.
Then let me come over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to show some of a video I did. We don't have to watch the whole thing, though, to get the gist of it.
Why is it not showing it? It's not showing Skype for some reason.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just do.
Would it be easier if you did it? I dropped it in the chat.
No.
Yeah, because I know where to stop it and to go and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, what I'm gonna do real fast. Let me set up a screen capture. Okay. I might have to move away from Streamlabs here. All right. Jeran, you still use regular OBS?
I do. Yeah, I never could get used to the other one. I'll just send a message to Nathan. If anybody does have that Grotto 1 video somewhere saved, if they could give me a link, I'd appreciate it. But I know
can't find Grotto 1 at all.
I can't find him either. But Nathan Erickson, Pitch Lumen, I know he has it, so I'll just get it from him.
All right, you are sharing, my brother.
All right. So this is Stellarium. And what I'm going to do
whoa. Is that, you guys hear that?
What?
Hear what?
Missing.
You don't hear it. Okay, it stopped. I heard like the theme song playing or something. All right, anyway, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. And let's see, what I'm going to do is I'm just explaining how Stellarium works. Where did I? Okay, yeah, right here. I'm going to type in North Pole, I think, to start off. Let's see which one what the heck? Search. Yeah, 90 degrees. Okay. 90 degrees north. I was already on it. So I'm using at the pole, and when you come here and look at the moon, you can see it's moving, but it's not wagon wheeling. So they claim, here, see how I'm jumping through the hours here? And this red, or this dot here, isn't moving. It's staying right there. So what they're saying is the closer you get to the pole, the less you see the wagon wheel happen with the sun and moon, according to Stellarium. Now, I've never been up there to test it to see.
Hold on a second. I know what Austin's talking about. Austin, last week I put a sound effect in for when somebody donates. That's what you heard. You might have to turn that off. The siren goes off. That's what you heard. You thought it was the beginning. It's just funny. It just hit me right now while you said that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So from the closer we get to the North Pole, the less of the wagon wheel you see. We were at the North Pole, and this dot, I was going through the hours. I'll show it again. Here's the hours jumping, and this isn't moving. So we're going to go to, now I think I go to Spartanburg right here. Oh, let me go back. Okay, so I'm just showing now on the flat Earth. Say this is the flat Earth. You have your North Pole, your equator's the red line. Here's 45 south, 45 north, and then out here is Antarctica. From the North Pole, no matter how you're looking at this, the blue dot will always be over here to the right. And the red dot is always going to be over here to the left as you turn with it. That makes sense? Just like we just saw on Stellarium, there was a dot over here on the moon, and it stayed right there. So from the North Pole, if it is like that, like Stellarium says, then this is how it would work on the flat Earth. The blue dot will always be like dragging the moon around. Now we go to, oh, this is the one from Spartanburg, okay? And we'll show you the moon is going to wagon wheel now. I'm just getting it lined up. I'm talking a little bit, yada, yada, yada. Okay, now watch, as I jump through the hours, I go backwards a couple hours, and you can see that dot is now facing, what, like 2 on the clock maybe, between the 1 and the 2 maybe. But it's no longer there at the 3. Let's see here. And then as I fast forward a few hours, this is going to line up, and you'll see it. I'll be on the green line, which is facing due south. This will be right over here. That dot will be just like I'm looking at it from the North Pole when we hit that line. There it is, lined up again. And as the moon goes past your due south, it's going to end up down here. Even though it's really still being in the exact same spot from the North Pole, because you're rotating your body to look at it, you're changing the perspective. And you're no longer at the North Pole, at the center of its rotation. Once you step away from the center of its rotation, you're no longer going to see it as it actually is anymore. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll go and we'll take a look at it here on the flat Earth. So now we're at our 35 degrees north, just like it is in Spartanburg. And the same thing happens. Now it's going to be reversed because we're looking at it from the top down. Think of it as you're standing on the paper looking up at this thing. So we're right here. We're looking at the moon. And now this, if you're underneath this looking up, is at the top right. Just like that dot was we just saw when we were before due south. It was at about the 2 o'clock mark. And that's what you would see from a flat Earth. And then we'll move it around and we'll turn it due south here. I'm just going to let it do it. Okay, so no, we're not due. I went past due south. Oh, I just do it for a second. Okay, here, I'll just let it play. It's only a second. But I'll show you as I flip this over and move it, and this is due south right here. Now it looks just like it is from the North Pole because we're on the same line. But as soon as you move past over here now, you'll notice that the dots have switched. The blue dot will now be on here, let me get it all the way lined up. So the blue dot that's right here will now be on the bottom right, just like Stellarium shows. It went from the top right at 3 o'clock at noon and then down to the bottom right as it passed. Now here's the interesting part, which I think would be real cool if you guys do take this trip. I think just one day of looking at the sun spots and to see how they rotate, because they claim from the South Pole that it doesn't rotate either. You know, you're on the globe, whatnot. Let's get it over there. Here we go. So I'm moving it hours. The dot never moves. It's right there. Just like the North Pole. Now what I'm claiming is this will not happen. You're not going to see it do this. Because on a flat Earth, here we are on our line, and you're looking over here at the sun, and that blue dot isn't over here at all, like it would be from the North Pole. or a south pole if we had one. It's way over here. And then as it rotates by, it'll be right only at solar noon. Just like if you're... So the only place it works to where you don't see a rotation on the flat Earth is at the center. Everywhere else, you're going to see a distinct difference in the sunspot or the moon's features rotations due to perspective alone. And refraction's not going to help you with this one either. And I think that we don't even need to go to Antarctica. I think because it's different from here, from like 37 south to 35 north. Where on a globe, or if you had 35 north and 35 south, right? If you were on a globe, they should be the same during the equinox. When it's passing right over the equator, we should get the same exact amount of rotation on a globe, but not on a flat Earth. It will be different. And then I have a little demonstration. I'm going to have to get Cami to come help me real quick.
Okay, cool. Wait, perfect time. Jeran, either I'm going to fly out there and fight you, or you're going to tell me how to turn this stupid siren off, man. You're going to show your camera in a sec? Here, let me move back over here for now. Yeah, I don't know if you're here, Jeran, but this stupid siren keeps playing in my ear, bro. Oh, man.
That's too funny.
No, that's cool, bro. That's a cool presentation. You said you're gonna try to show it.
Yeah, I have a little thing set up here in the office where I have like a I don't think it's a picture of the moon. Oh, it's just a picture of the flat Earth. But I have a little, just to show a actual physical representation, if you're sitting down underneath it while you're looking up at it, what it's going to look like. I just need Cami to rotate it for me. I got to find her. I'm not sure where she went.
Dude, I'm so confused because I have play sound off and I have it muted and it just keeps playing it. And it's crazy. I'm guessing you guys can't hear it.
No, we don't hear any of it.
Here, let me test it. It's just a siren. Were you drunk or something? So I guess I don't even know. I'll have to wait till he's back. I don't even know. But no, this is cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's a globe killer. Really. I don't think there's a way around this. Like, you can't fake the sunspots or the moon. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to turn on my camera now. Come on, you phone. Okay. Join. Sorry, Skype doesn't like me. There we go. Should.
All right, let me
Sorry about that.
let me. And there we go.
All right. So as you can see, I'm like directly under the center of the fan. And as Cami rotates this, I'm going to keep the camera level and just turn it like this with it. So go ahead and turn it that way, please. And as you can see, Australia is always on the bottom. South America is always on the upper part up there. And then the moon sets. Okay. Would you bring it back around now to you? Now I'm going to move a little bit closer to the equator, like halfway through. I'll be sitting at about 45 now. So now when I'm looking at it a little bit, just stop it right there. Now you can see it's no longer that X up and down or a cross up and down. It's more like an X, about a 45.
Right.
So as she rotates it, I'm going to have to turn the camera, and now it's directly south, just like it looks from the North Pole. And then as I rotate, it goes back to the X and not the cross.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it works. I mean, that's what we see in the sky, and there may be another way to model it, but it kind of appears we're looking at like if you're 6,000 miles to the east and I'm 6,000 miles to the west, we still see the same features. It almost appears like it's a flat disk up there.
And so what are you saying would happen if you go all the way out south?
Now, if you come out south, right? Now it should be just like the North Pole, but opposite. And look at it, it's not at all. It's rotating big time. That's the only place when it's directly north of you now that it lines up. And it rotates, to where according to the globe model, it should not rotate at all as it's going by. So yeah, I think this is a big one too. I think this could kill the globe. Like there's no answer for it. So yeah, we're gonna have this demonstration. It's gonna be a lot bigger than a ceiling fan. It's gonna be like about a 15-foot radius. Or no, about 10 foot, maybe. Yeah, about a 10-foot radius out from the center. We're going to have a moon attached to it and have it on a motor, a disco ball motor, that'll do 1 RPM and go over your head so you can stand in different spots and watch the moon rotate or not rotate or, yeah. But yeah, I think this would kill the globe. There is no answer for this. This is all about perspective.
Oh, flurperspective.
Yeah, flurperspective, as some would say.
How goofy is that? We can't even talk about how we see things in reality. No, that's cool, man. I like it a lot.
So yeah, I'd love to get some people from below the equator, Australia, places like that. I did have somebody from somewhere in Australia, reach out. And I'm going to contact them. I'd like to get a few different places. But I think we could, yeah, this would just be another nice proof that they don't have any, solid argument against. But yeah, I noticed there's a lot of people starting to look at the sun again since the eclipses and all that kind of stuff. A lot more people out there taking pictures of the sun with the solar filters and all that. I love it. I just love people trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, that's the thing I keep saying, like, about the whole they could fake the sun thing. It's like, bro, if you put a good solar filter on and look at the sun, dude, you think that they can fake that?
Mm-hmm.
And then transition it? And then, like there's just no way. I mean, I'm going to say there's no way. But...
What's your thought on these people saying that the sunspots on the sun are constellations behind it or something? Zack?
I don't know. I've never looked into that. So I don't want to just poo-poo it right off the bat, but I'd have to we have where the stars are in the sky. It shouldn't be too hard to do some research and with stellarium and line the stuff up to see if it's true.
Jeran, what were you saying about you added a sound effect and it's a siren that keeps screaming in my ear?
Yes, I'll take it off. I'll go to Ko-fi and take it off.
I went to Ko-fi and it didn't have play sound checks. Or I did. I turned it off, but there was no sound uploaded. I turned it down, and then I keep hearing the siren.
Okay, I'll go fix it.
Oh man, it's like what possessed you to pick that sound, man?
I needed something to go off so I could hear it.
Okay, all right.
Acknowledge them.
All right. Well, while we're at it, let me acknowledge a few people. Donation from Flat for Good. Thank you for the $5 on Kofi.
You would have forgot if it wasn't for the.
I have the activity feed up. It works. Donation from Anonymous. Thank you for $10 on Kofi. Donation from JJ the Gift Giver. $20. I love you. Thank you. We love you. Thank you for the donation. And another anonymous $10. Thank you so much for the support on Kofi. And we are 20, 30, 45, about 25% there. All right, cool.
Yeah, and I saw, talking to Austin from Melodome, I saw your assessment of it, and I kind of agree that I don't even know where they're getting this overlaying the sun in each position. And then when you kind of do like a blink test, I didn't see anything line up. There'd just be tons of stars, and then they would like blink out into the sunspot and then say that it matched when it just didn't. So I don't really get it, but I get so many messages from people telling me that it's legit. So this is one of the issues I've seen lately, that is just people believing whatever is said by anybody who's considered a truther. They can actually say anything, and then everybody thinks it's true and then sends it everywhere and proclaims it to be true, even though they don't have a clue or never did an assessment on it.
I used to have an idea that maybe the sunspots are actually like crust on the dome that's being burned off, but they'll appear out of nowhere. They'll, they won't be there one day, and then like near the center of the disk, it'll just appear. And then they will come back around sometimes even.
Well, if you watch Austin did a month-long viewing where he went out every day, and you see that the sunspots do move across the face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure they do. And sometimes they come back around, which made me not think that it's just some crust on the dome, maybe like being burned off as the light source passes over it. It wouldn't make sense that they come back around almost in the same exact shapes, because even with the P900, you can get really close on the sun and get some nice pictures of sunspots where they won't all be just black. They'll be like black in the center and then a little bit darker orange around the edges, and then you'll get the sun. But yeah, it's I don't know what they are. I have no clue. Stars, I mean, if you want to say that there's star clusters from behind it, then show it lining up, present that. And that fan observation, I didn't come up with that myself. I didn't come up with this idea at all. Phuket Word, Nick, taught me this. Great presentations about perspective. Just, he gets it. He sees it a lot better than most people, way better than me even. I've learned a lot from that guy.
Okay, I did get the, I don't know what, I'm sorry. Nathan sent me that video, but there's like 10 links, so I'm wondering why he sent me so many. But I did want to show that. If that's the one you're talking about, Austin, the grotto one where that's got the different colored lights on the frozen ice?
Yeah, maybe so. I wouldn't know the name. I literally, someone posted it while I was in a debate. It was literally 15v1 on X, and I was just talking through it hypothetically. I'm like, do you agree that if they're at the same height, it debunks the globe? And they just, melted. It was wild.
I'm going to send you on Telegram right now the link to that video if you want to watch it. I don't know. This is just part one, so I don't know. I have to watch them more fully. But I think this is one of the better observations that we have. And then also, I don't know, this is one Nathan Erickson uses in all his debates. So that's not you. Wrong one. This one. There you go. So if you want to watch that one. Because, in calling refraction, again, this would be the same issue as the one that Ben showed. But, of course, there's more lights in this particular video.
All right, let me share it. You misplay it or like?
Yeah, if you wanted to start from the beginning, just play it, and then I'm finding out if that's the one. I might be able to tell by looking at it if that's the one. I just wonder if you wanted to show the one you're talking about, the one with the lights. But he sent me a whole bunch of links, so I'm not sure which of these links it is, the actual video.
Let's just check it out.
The beginning of this one shows, he's showing on a table kind of the idea behind it, so it's kind of good to show.
I'm showing 3 pens on a table. When I lower the camera to be basically in line with the pens, I can see that the table is not quite straight. Part of this video series shows what happened when I did a similar test on Rock Lake using lights
Anybody who's
instead of pens.
interested, on Nick's channel, I dropped it in there. Phuket Word is his channel name. I just dropped it in the chat. I'll go drop it over on the Rockfin as well.
I didn't even think you guys weren't even hearing that, huh?
Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you playing something?
I didn't see it.
Oh, that's fine. I forgot how to do it with you guys too. All right. We're good?
Yep.
I'm showing 3 pens on a table. When I lower the camera to be basically in line with the pens, I can see that the table is not quite straight. Part of this video series shows what happened when I did a similar test on Rock Lake using lights instead of pens.
I think this is the 8 Mile one. being recorded.
And I like the way he did it all in one take like that. So there is no, oh, it's not that far, yada, 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 this and that.
Oh, weird. Okay.
What's weird?
It didn't show.
I was trying to talk during that movie, but I don't think anybody heard me the whole time.
No.
All right. Happens.
Oh man. I was like, dude, is he lighting up? And then I just thought you had an open mic.
Okie dokie. No, so there's that one, and he has some other ones that are better, but at least we know the name of the channel now and can find that's all one word. So that'll help.
Nice. Yo, I have this one. I have this one pulled up too here in terms of refraction. You guys have seen this?
Sky Free?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, because this is where he shows the object look like it's getting blocked from the bottom up. Sinking.
Mm-hmm.
No, that can never happen.
That can only happen on a curved Earth.
So people are like, why are things below your eye level? Why do they look like they're blocked from the bottom up? It's like, so like when we can demonstrate it, it isn't possible. But when you just move a slider around, it's an objective, indisputable fact. Very, very profound.
I could do an impression. You want to try and guess who it is? Well, actually, we used
Jesse.
17 different. I don't think.
That guy's, dude. That guy. Oh,
I need to go into the good stuff, man. Come on.
Nah, I couldn't handle it, bro. I've had enough Jesse for a lifetime, bro.
It's so funny you came up with that. No, there was no prompting. I had no idea who I was doing or any reason why I would do him.
I know, that was so quick.
Bro, when I saw that dude, I'm like, this is exactly what I thought he'd look like. Yeah. That guy's like an expert in everything. It's like, no matter what we come with, he's like, oh, I used to do that. It's like, no, you didn't, dude. Shut up. But yeah, it's all good. He like he's something else, man. He'll be like, every time I go out there, I'm like, really? Every time you go out there? That's crazy. I'm like, did you account for refraction? No, I didn't. So then you're saying it matches the glow without counting for refraction, so then it doesn't have standard refraction? He's like, that's not what I'm talking about. I was like, okay.
I remember when I asked Roof, I'm like, Roof, you know, Globers don't even post your results if they're anything but globe exact results. That's the ones you post. Anything else, you'll just let go aside. Us, if we go out and we see something that maybe doesn't match, we still post it. And he's like, well, did you ever think that that's because there is no observations that match flat Earth and all observations match the globe? I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. Sure. Yeah, every single observation matches the globe. It just so happens when I go out there, it doesn't. But everybody else, all Globers, they all get it perfect.
Well, it's a very simple tactic, right? So it's like if someone's kind of new to the subject, say they listen to the Professor Dave thing, they're like, okay, I got to give this a second look. And then they hear me be like, showing those pictures, and then they hear a Glober, an anti-flat earther say, thanks for proving the globe. Right. The reason that works is because that person is like, oh, wait. So there's a group of people like flat earther, like this guy who thinks he's smart, people think he's smart, and he thinks that this globe proof is flat earth proof. He doesn't like it confirms the fear of just being stupid and inept, you know, to where like people would laugh at you, like, haha, this perfectly matches the globe. And so just saying it works very well. So that's their tactic now, you know, like you show, here's mountains from you could say, here's a mountains from 700 miles away. Thanks for proving the globe. You know, it doesn't matter what you show at this point.
It's like, these are the droids you're looking for type stuff, you know?
Even though sometimes what we're pointing out too is the importance of knowing that Like when we went and saw San Clemente, and they said, "Oh, it's refraction." All these, but the important part is there that the island is there, but nobody can see it but the infrared camera, right? Same thing with Canigou. You can't see Canigou ever except for when the sun sets behind it. So these things are evidence that this idea of the edge of your horizon is just the edge of the ball Earth is completely and totally false.
Yeah, like this image right here. You can still see it.
Yeah.
This should shut down that whole thing, right? It's like the Globers claim this mountain's not actually there. It's like it's an illusion, basically, right? It's just refracted. Like, okay, so why don't we see it right here? Right? It's like they have to say they can't say it's because of curvature.
And then, so if it is some sort of refraction, I guess, does the sunlight not affect it? You would think that it would be lifting it up, lowering it, but you can watch that mountain stage right there.
Yeah, I took these screenshots and put them all in one picture because it's like, if someone denies this, bro, what can you do with them? I also really like this one.
Right.
It's like, this shows you that the sun sets, and it can set with the bottom up obstruction, with the horizontal cutoff above the horizon, right? So this isn't physical Earth curve blocking this, right? Look at that. I love it. I love it. Now, it makes perfect sense because there are horizontal layers of the atmos. Because we live on a plane and we have horizontal layers of the air above us. And so the sun's moving away and it's reaching the extinction point, basically, through the atmos. And right here is where, on that day, that's where the extinction point is, right? It's this high up. So the light can't get to us through this portion of the atmos based on its distance. So as it's dropping down and we're looking at it through that angle, it's getting cut off because there's just horizontal layers of the atmos moving up like this. And what's funny is their refraction calculations, like Andrew Thomas Young, uses a flat Earth with horizontal parallel layers of the atmo. Literally. To say the light's bending around the globe, they do the math with horizontal parallel layers of atmo. When they say vertical density gradient, all this stuff, like they're using horizontal layers of atmo, literally. So, and that's what we know it is, right? Like, there is a gradient, and it's most dense at the bottom, and it just gets less dense and goes up. So anyway, this is this video right here. So if you say like, oh, sunsets are impossible on a flat Earth, it can only disappear from the bottom up if it's going over the globe. This disproves that objectively. Disproves that claim. We're watching it up above the horizon. On a glober would claim that this is the curve of the Earth. Okay, well, the sun's disappearing high above that, and it has being disappeared from the bottom up, horizontal line cutting it off, right? So that right there debunks that. And then this idea that you'd see thousands of miles away, or the only reason that you can't see the mountains because they're behind the curve, just like your observation with the infrared. These two observations, yours and this one, and many other ones, right, prove that isn't true. The reason that we start seeing the mountains here and then here and then here is because the intensity of the light from the sun is so much more intense than just the ambient light that once it's getting behind the mountains, we can see it because now we have a brighter light source to show us the image. That doesn't actually make any sense for them, though. That's a major problem for them. They're saying that the light is coming from the sun and bending around the globe, right? Well, it's like, why can we only see the mountains once it becomes backlit? So they're going to say, well, this is basically like delayed. Like we're basically seeing a lag of reality. You know what I'm saying? Like the sun is already set behind it. It's all below the curve of the Earth. And then we're just seeing it like lifted up after the fact type of thing. That's why they say the sun's actually set before you see it set, you know? But anyway, yeah, I thought that was interesting.
None of those things. I mean, there's so many things that call that into question. Forever, even like Wolfie 6020 was telling everybody, my camera, look at my telescope's set to move 15 degrees an hour, and well, then that can't be true because the sun would fall out of line with it based on refraction. So really, your telescope is set to track the sun. It can't be set to track at a certain rate because then the sun would fall out of exact order, right? It's not like that you set the telescope and it moves at a perfect rate. It's just those telescopes know where the sun should be. So they track the sun, because otherwise, think about it, when the sun is above the horizon, the telescope should be looking below the horizon where the sun is. And just like at sunrise, the telescope should be below the horizon when the sun's up above the horizon. Of course, that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Because the sun, the telescope actually knows where the sun is or should be.
What's funny is I compiled these right like an hour before the debate or whatever. I started making these memes. That was my preparation. Was like I made these memes here. But these are damning, bro. Like almost this entire mountain should be blocked. Are there actual people in this world that believe we're not just looking at the mountains right there?
Yeah, I don't know what their response to a lot of these are, other than we must be lying about the distances. And we
Oh,
must
it's
be
just
lying.
refraction. It's all refraction. Like
Yeah,
Professor
and
Dave dropped the ball for them so bad, right? Like the argument is not the distances. This is a professional website.
Yeah, they're all lies.
these in fact, there's one where they say, we had to have just the perfect refractive conditions to see this.
Right, of course. They always same thing with Canada.
Yeah, so if that's what they're saying, why are you claiming the distances are wrong? It's like, dude, this is a hostile witness. You guys are clowns.
Yeah, people travel to that place to watch that happen. Yet they say, "Oh, we had to have perfect refraction to see this."
Almost this entire mountain should be blocked, bro.
When I was in Michigan City taking pictures of Chicago, I didn't even know it was that day that it set from that beach right behind Chicago. There was like 30, 40 people there with cameras waiting.
Don't you just wish that we could have like an amazingly strong laser weapon and we could pull it out right now and just shoot that mountain and watch it blow up and be like, okay, what? They would still deny it. They'd be like, no, the mountain's not really there. You're watching it explode from behind the curve of the earth because the laser bent around the curve of the earth and then hit it and exploded. And it, like, there's nothing you can do for these people. You know?
No. No.
Crazy because these are like very odd. These mountains are just there, bro. These mountains should be entirely obstructed. Like completely obstructed, right?
Wow, and the observer height is 10 feet, huh? I don't think I've seen that one. Corsica Mountains. And I think people need to. I'll actually show some. If I bring them up, there's a guy who was doing some observations of some mountains in the Gulf of Mexico, I believe. But there's a lot of places. If you take out Google Earth and wherever you're at, just look for places near you where there's a lake, where there's a body of water of some type, or a long distance that you can look and go see what you can see. I think you will be surprised.
Yeah, I think silhouettes are awesome, bro. Silhouettes are because it's like the most beautiful. So I don't know. Obviously, there's a segregation of people. There are still people. We can move over to Rockfin if you guys are down. You guys are down?
Yeah.
Because there's still these people that are denying like that whole thing, but the whole GMO thing, right? Genetic modification situation, but like. For me, dude, when I went out and I was seeing stuff in the distance as silhouettes, it was just like this. I wouldn't say it was like a spiritual experience, maybe, but it was like a very profound experience because it's so pretty, and at the same time, you're having this just like internalization, or like this overwhelming realization. It's like this. I would maybe epiphany. Like I kind of knew the Earth was flat at that point, but it's like incredible. And so what we're dealing with is a bunch of people that have never left from behind their computer. They've never done that. They've never gone and looked at this stuff in the distance and been like, bro, sure enough, as the sun gets behind it, I see it there. It's not supposed to be there. Right. And just be like, actually view it in real life and then think about it. And like, that's not really something that you can replicate. That's not something that like words can do justice. Like you have to go look at stuff yourself, in my opinion. Like when you see it, you see stuff, you're like, dang, bro. So, anyway, food for that.
I got share screen going if you want to pop over here.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but being there is worth like 10,000 pictures.
Oh, yeah, it changes everything. Yeah, that's why I got so upset with people saying the refraction thing. I was like, you needed to be there to see that nobody else watching that sunset saw it, and then we saw it just with the infrared camera. I'm not sure if I'm up. Yep. You can see it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is in the Gulf of Mexico. This guy's name is Hugo. He was there doing all kinds of observation. I've actually got lots of his stuff here. But I think I've shown part of this before, the one with the dolphins, which is incredible because if you get out here, you're going to actually see dolphins jumping like crazy. Those are all dolphins out in the water, well beyond the horizon. They jump out and jump in, and you can actually see now that this means that this is all water. Let's keep going. And those are all dolphins. Now, if we look carefully, you're going to notice.
That's awesome, bro. There's that many dolphins. That's insane.
It's so awesome. They're just all out there just having a good time. And if we look carefully, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it if it translates well, but you'll actually see the Isle of Tortuga back behind those dolphins. Let me see if we can see it here. You can just see the faint outline of it barely on my screen. I'm hoping to see it better, but I can also show you shortly here that, and you can see these reflections off of the, see the bird's reflection there?
Yep.
So, again, what you'd have to believe if you believe that this is the line of the edge of the Earth, then what is this reflecting off of? And then when you see those dolphins jumping out there, are they jumping from behind the curve like that dolphin that just came out? Did he jump from behind the curve and then appear at the top of it? And probably not.
That makes me think we should all just start saying, "Where's the edge?"
See right here, you can see that is the Isle of Tortuga right back there. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I'll show you how far away that is and where he's at. But there's just no, and then also let me see how far, if I can go back on here. I also have some videos of him. So this is where he's at here, and then he's checking the Isle of Tortuga. I'm trying to see some other images he sent me, and I've been looking at these, and I had some questions about him because this is him. And then I said, "Can you show me your observer spot?" And then he got in the water. Said, "Here's somebody filming. This is where he was filming from." So somebody's now taking a picture of him filming from in the water, as you can see here. See this one? So that's where he's at, and the distance is Isle of Tortuga in Baja, if you want to look up, 37.5 miles away. The island is only 735 feet tall. So if we do and again, obviously his viewer height is a foot, if you even want to say that, because he's down right at the water. So yeah, we'll say a foot. So if we, actually I won't be able to do that on the screen because I have it sharing something else. Let me look it up over here. I just want to see what the curve calculator says. If we go to Metabunk curve, and then I'll show you his view of that mountain that's even better. Metabunk curve. And just if somebody's going to use refraction on this one, it just gets disgusting. So 37 miles is the distance. The viewer height in feet, we'll put 1. And oops, what happened here? This way. 1 second. So that is even with refracted hidden would be 727. Geometric hidden 853, and then the Isle of Tortuga highest mountain is back here. What did he say? Is only 735 foot tall, and the drop off on the right goes down to 400 feet. And according to Earth Curve, I shouldn't see any of it. Right. So let me go to this one. I believe is the video that shows it. Yeah. So this is the video of hit that he took from that actual location. He's going to zoom in here in a second. Oh, maybe not. Go a little further. Oh, yeah, there we go. So here he is zooming in, and you can see on the Google Earth where these little peaks are from that little outkick there. And then he's going to zoom in over here and pick up the Isle. Go, zoom. See these a little further. And again, if anybody knows, I mean, this is the most difficult of all observations because you're right down at the water level. And you see that Isle there.
Yeah, just trying to focus in on it is such a pain with all the atmospheric scene going on, all the disturbances in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And I think that sometimes it's easier to get up above. It's like when we were down low for our first night of observations down there in SoCal, we didn't see anything. And then we got up a little bit higher, and that's when we were able to definitely see clear. You're not looking through all that. Let me see if this is, what is it? Oops, I didn't mean to.
I really love the P1000's manual focus, how it has the wheel on it.
Yeah, that's what I
like the old cameras. Oh, I wish my camera.
Yeah, what is all that? That's all the mountain?
Well, this is, he says, the Isle is Isla Cedros from Faro del Morro de Santo Domingo.
That line way above the water is the island?
Let me see.
You see how high it is?
Yeah, but he's up a little higher. I think here he says, I went down and wait. I'll send you footage from the beach. Also, I went down and filmed it from 5 to 6 feet above sea level. That island is more than 100 kilometers from me. So this one that you see back there is 100 kilometers from him.
Wow, real fast. To watch on Rockfin, even if it's set to free, you do have to create a free account, correct?
No, I don't think so. It's free for everybody. Just in order to comment or chat.
Oh, so you don't even have to have an account to watch it?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, cool.
You have it set on free, right?
Yeah. I was just someone saying it takes them to make an account page. I think you can watch it for free.
Yeah, they should just.
There may be a continue button or something like that without doing this. See if you can find that.
I'll just do it incognito. How about that?
This one here is, he says, highest peak is 3,900 feet, but some lower peaks are around 1,500 feet. I'll try and get some better footage. It sure is nice to have infrared like you have. Curvature from the beach should be 2,800 feet. So if I can get a better visual, identify the peaks, that would be great. This is the one that I was showing everybody. This is a crazy video that just shows these dolphins like crazy out here when he gets in there. I don't know if it's all dolphins, like is it not repeating it at all? These are just all individual dolphins. Crazy, because it almost looks the same thing you keep seeing. You see that one?
Wow, that's wild.
That's wild.
It's like they're diving out of the air and back into it.
Right, and you can see the splashes happen way back here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that tells you that this water continues, that it's just the end of our ability to discern what, or, the eyes being able to, what do you call it? Yeah, discern. We'll keep going on this one. I mean, it's way past there. And yet, people would say that this was the edge of the earth. And you can actually see it breaking up, all this water kind of breaks up. And, if you go look at a mirage on a road, when you're just looking at an asphalt road and you see zoom back in here? Yeah. But it's the same look that you get. It's that same broken up, convoluted mess that's out there. And I think that affects our view a lot. Sometimes the horizon is closer, sometimes it's further away. It's because it's not the edge of the earth. It's all an optical phenomenon. And yeah, you can turn up refraction. Let me see what else I have here. So this is the one in Baja, BCS. Let's see if we look up. This is Isle Tortuga. I think we just looked at this one. But I would like to see what that isle looks like. Let me look at Google Earth. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you can't see that. Isle Tortuga. AISLE Tortuga. Oh, that's crazy. See how much you can see of that one?
Dang.
And where's the Isle Tortuga? I thought it was in here. Isle Tortuga. What is this one called?
Is that a lighthouse out there on that one?
Trying to find it on this map. I'm seeing a lot of Isle Tortuga search. Keeps taking me way off by Florida. It's not where it's supposed to be. Isle Tortuga. Let me look up just Tortuga.
Yeah, I've heard people having trouble focusing easily with the infrared as well.
Oh, it's very difficult. Especially my camera, the converted one, is just has a harder time seeing. And then also, if you don't want that pink color, if you want a better color, like you have to manually do a white balance and then take a picture of something green. It's kind of weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you have to find something green, like a bunch of grass or a leaf, and then do manual override, and then do white balance, and then take a picture. You're supposed to take a picture of something extremely white, but if you take a picture of something green, then it fixes the color problems. Tortuga in Mexico? I don't know. That's not coming up. I don't see them. Maybe this is going to take me there. Okay, there it is. Isle Tortuga. Let me see what it looks like from the side. It looks like a volcano, actually.
Wow, and that's real close to the water. Look at that.
Yeah, he's right there.
Dang.
Yeah, and it's pretty low and kind of looks like that. You can't see. I'll show you after we're all done looking at this. But I have Isle Tortuga pulled up on Google Earth. Let me see it again where he showed it. Okay, so right there. So there, I'm going to switch my share screen real quick. Confirm switch screen or window. I want to show Google Earth. Switch window. So now do you see Google Earth?
Yep. It's loading. Yep.
So that's. Oops. Stop
There we
flashing.
go.
Why is it doing that? Are you seeing a flash?
No.
Oh wow! On my screen, it's like a strobe effect. I'm gonna have a seizure. So that's Isle
That's
Tortuga.
payback for the siren.
There's Isle Tortuga there, and if we bring it in to see what the height is, let me just see if I run my mouse back and forth over it so we can figure out the height. Yeah, so he's right. I mean, I see 660 is the highest so far. Oh, I did see 7 something. So about 700 looks like to be the maximum height. And the curve calculator said even with refraction, the highest peak or the hidden amount was 750 or something. So again, you shouldn't see any of that even with the standard refraction. Now, they can always just invoke super duper refraction. And that's what they do with the, I can't do this anymore, I'm gonna have a seizure. Stop sharing that, go back to this, switch screens. And go back to this. I think he had some other things. I'll check on this real quick, make sure. Where's media viewer here? All right, let me see what else I have over here. So we showed that one. We showed this video, I think. What was this one? This is just somebody filming him out there. Okay, let me see what else we got. And from behind the scene, showing, yeah, so his camera is the middle of it, 6 inches above the water. And then he shows me where he's at. If people want to see that, that's kind of the map here that we're looking at. So we were just looking, this is Isle Tortuga out here. And he's in this little bay. And showing you exactly where he's at. Punace Placey. And let's see, we got this one. This is the one. This one has Isle Tortuga in the background with the dolphins. You saw that one, I think. Forward a little bit on this one. Yeah, so we saw that isle here about, I think. It's crazy, all those dolphins out there. Austin, remember you did that one stream on whale calls? I don't know. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah, you never really gone back to that, huh? You just talked about it that one stream?
No, I mean occasionally. Yeah, I just forget. There's just so many. I just like went through a phase where I presented a new evidence every week, but that one's damning, yeah.
That one's damning. And then I've been watching, my son's totally into whales and ocean stuff, and so he's been watching a lot of documentaries on whales, and I heard them talking the other day, and they were saying that that the whales sing a new song every year, and it is sung like around the world. They are like, oh, some whales are 10,000 miles from other whales, and yet they hear the song.
Yeah, 10,000 miles. You know what they say? You know what the excuse is?
Travels over the curve, I guess.
That it's a ducting layer, and that it goes straight out as if it's like horizontal, but it's actually curving the whole time perfectly around the globe. But they can't invoke refraction, really. Like, I can't just say it's all just bending like refraction, right? So it's a ducting layer, which they do kind of claim. So basically what they're claiming is there's like this layer that's created where the signal, so if you drew like 2 parallel lines, right? On the globe, of course, they'd be curving together. So it's like draw a circle and then a little bit of a bigger circle. And so they're saying that what happens is the signal gets shot out and it bounces up and down in between those 2 lines, those 2 layers, and it traps it there in a ducting layer and brings it around the Earth. And then I asked Kosho, who lifetime researched and said that, came up with that answer. And I was like, so that ducting layer just happens at all different depths?
Yeah, I didn't.
Like what? And he didn't really know what to say, so yeah.
But people are surprised. Like, we know that there is an answer. That's what people are always confused about, right? They think that we would just find something and then NASA has no answer for it, and boom, we discovered it and we opened it. It's like, no, of course NASA's gonna have an answer. That's why doing the thing that you do, which is when we say, oh, this is fake about the moon landings, and then they go look at the NASA site and get the answer and bring it back like, you idiots, this is the answer. It's like, no, we know that they have an answer. Of course they have an answer. So that doesn't mean anything. It's like, again, if you see a guy robbing a bank, he runs out of there with a bag, you're not going to go ask him, sir, are you the one robbing the bank? Because he's probably going to tell you no. And he probably has a reason why it's not him and why he has a black bag and why he's wearing that mask. So if we just believe him, then we're not going to get very far.
Don't you think? And that's why I try to limit comments like this. But I think there is a part of it where it like segregates IQ, or at the least like critical thinking. I'm not even joking. Like, because of that's a good example, right? If to them, if there is an answer, that equates to winning the argument. So like if there is a proposed answer, so what they do in these quote unquote debates is they just explain the answer, and it's normally like they don't really even understand it. Like like for example, I feel like they're trying to explain to me an answer that I know better than them, and I'm like having to struggle and wait for them to like butcher it and get through it. And they think that once they present the proposed theory or answer, that equates to a win. Like it's automatically true as long as there is an answer. And the only way to lose is if there was no answer. And when they don't have an answer, that's how science works. You know, to me, that's just wild. How does someone think like at that low of a level, like respectfully?
Because I don't think they think, to be honest with you. Like these are the type of people who are afraid to think on their own, and they just feel very comfortable in the position that science has figured everything out. I don't need to do anything. I can be lazy. And then those kind of people are never going to be able to make fun of anybody because they really are dumb themselves, right? But they just are going to sit back and enjoy being able to back science. But then when Flat Earth came along, I think those people for the first time were like, oh my God, there's somebody who I think is dumber than me. So I'm going to get a little bravado now. I can actually go call these people dumb. And then when they ask a question, all those guys know how to do is go find an answer. That's all they know how to do. There's no ability to like conjure up a thought in their own head, or to try and rationalize something, or to try and work something out. No, it's just there's already an answer somewhere. I have to go get it. Google's your friend, you know. Go Google it. That's all you got to do. And they've created a world of people that are just like that have no ability. And it's not that they have no ability. It's like they're afraid to answer something because they're afraid if I get it wrong, I'm going to look like such an idiot when I just should have gone to the mainstream answer. Whereas that's kind of the complete opposite of who we are. You know, where the last thing I want to do is I don't trust the mainstream answer. Now, sometimes does it turn out to be right? Sometimes, but most times it's not. In fact, it's just garbage. And especially when you're talking about these kind of things here. I was showing. So just
real
look
fast,
at this one.
real fast. To give everyone a heads up, we'll go in 10 minutes over to Rockfin. So if the mods, if you don't care to help me sporadically, drop the link to the Rockfin, rockfin.com/globebusters, and there's a specific stream link that's set to free. You can just go watch it, but we're going to go there because a few of the things I'm going to bring up we can't talk about on here. So yeah, okay. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
No problem. I was just going to say, pay attention to this, what we see on the screen now, because I'm going to switch screen share to my Google Earth just to show this same observation, and we'll see if this island looks like this. Kind of look at this drop here, which he said is down to 400 feet. Again, he's 37 miles away. We saw his camera position was at the water line. There we go. And so we're going to go in there and check it out. I'm going to close this one now. Stop sharing, switch screens. Let me see if it's going to be. One second. I'm trying to find the screen with that on there. It would be the. Weird. I don't see my screen. I'm going to just stop sharing for a second. And then see if I can get the other way. Confirm stop. All right, let me try this one. Share screen. To display.
Do you think Skype's ever considered like updating their UI or?
I know with like Zoom and stuff, you think they would like try and keep up or something.
Zoom also though.
I think Zoom's terrible.
Yeah, why don't people update their UI? Is it just like all boomers in charge? Like, I mean, no disrespect to my boomer friends. I'm just saying that like Skype
parents
and Zoom has looked the same for 10 years, bro. Like just update the UI and you would make a killing. Anyway.
God, I don't know. For some reason when I do this, my screen just flashes. It's like a strobe light effect. But you don't see the strobe.
No, we did not.
Nope, not at all.
So we'll just zoom in here and see if that mountain looks like, if you want to see where he's at, I'll just back this up real quick so I can show you. So he is, oops, that's good. You get up here. So he's at this little bay here. And if you want to do it, basically the easiest way to draw this is to grab the Isle Tortuga, and then he's just missing this little outpost here, which is and he's sitting in the water here. at 37 miles. So we just want to check and see if that is, because, you know, what they would always say is, oh, what you're seeing is just a very tip top of that island. You're not actually seeing. And what you can do on Google Earth is, if you get yourself lined up and you want to just see, if you go up here to the tools and then go to options, you can change your elevation to up to 3 times. I'm just going to do that so we can actually see it enlarged and see that mountain. So, right. So this is what we saw, right? We saw the top here and then the drop down. And then remember, this is enlarged 3 times. So, oops, get up here a little bit there and there. So if you notice this now, if we drop this whole thing down, then that's the whole mountain that we just saw. Tools, options, we're going to go back down to 1, which will be even with the, okay. So, I mean, this is what you see. You saw the drop down there, and I mean, he's basically seeing a line right here. So again, even with refraction, it says that we shouldn't see any of it. That's with the standard refraction, which is already giving them the Earth being significantly bigger, right? You're basically adding another 17% to 20% onto the size of the Earth. So we're already giving them that. When we say standard refraction, that's the equivalent of saying, oh, okay, yeah, we'll let you just get, I mean, imagine if flat Earth did that, the opposite, right? So if we started saying that we're seeing too far, but everything we see, when they're like, no, that's not too far, it's exactly, well, give us a minus 20, make the Earth smaller. So what? Yeah, just make it 20% smaller every time we do observations. They would throw their hands up like, what are you you can't do that. That's what they do. They just make the Earth 20% bigger. And what's funny is that came around right around probably when cameras and optics did. So I bet you that they had come up with a distance around the Earth and then how far we'd be able to see and the curvature and everything. And then as optics started getting better, they realized, oh shit, people are seeing too far. What do we do? Okay, bring in the standard refraction. Now we increase the size of the Earth 20%. Now all of a sudden, all those observations people were making are within the 20%. And we do see some outside of that, but not a whole ton. I mean, we 20% do see,
is a ton, dude.
Yeah, it's a ton.
They say standard refraction like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing.
And they're like, oh, it's just this many degrees, so they can say a low number. 20%, bro. That's 1/5. That is a ton.
Well, yeah, what do they say it is? A
7.6R, right? I don't know what 7.6 would be. I think 7. If you
7/6, meaning that you increase it by 1/6 the radius value, right? So you treat it as if the Earth is 1/6 bigger. Right. So you really get it's 15 to 20%. It varies, but and this is funny because this is an argument that we've been making since 2016 or whatever.
So like this island here that we're looking at, then it's the equivalent of clearly 20% didn't cover it, because we still have this whole mountain that the guy saw. So really, you're talking probably 30 or 40% of the Earth's size. So you have to, instead of the Earth being 25,000 miles in circumference, now you're talking about the Earth being 35, 40,000 miles in circumference just to see what we're seeing here. And we all just wash over it like, yeah, so we saw a mountain, But it's legit an issis for them. But
McToon in one of our first debates, he said, looks like a refraction with the coefficient of 2 or more, which is just 100%. It's doubling it.
Right.
Or it's basically just a coefficient, meaning they're just saying it could go all the way around back to you. So, I mean,
what the drop is there, because he's right. I mean, it's going to be out here, 367. It might even be lower than he was saying. The bottom of that drop down is less than 400, 367, 333. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a amazing observation. And this is the kind of thing which I don't see a lot of people talking about, these islands out here in Baja. The places you'd be able to see here. Can we see across the Baja? What's the distance of here to here? I mean, that's 104 miles. So I'm just shocked that we haven't had any kind of observations of these 96 miles. You think somebody would be able to see. Now, these mountains, I'm assuming, are pretty big, too. Across here, these are elevation pretty good, 30,000, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000. But anyway, still seeing that distance, I'm surprised we don't see more people making observations of distances like that. And I think wherever you're at, pretty much you can find some body of water or something that is still impressive because of the curvature needing to be so drastic. That I mean, again, has anyone looked across Okeechobee in Florida?
No, I was actually going to meet Justin to do that. The thing about Florida, though, bro, during the summer, man,
It's just foggy and musty and misty and
so yeah, it's so humid, bro. It's rough.
Because this lake, I think, is like 20 something miles. So it's 33 miles long.
Yeah. We were gonna meet to do that, but I think we might wait till the winter though.
Yeah, that's probably best. But I know it's kind of built up too, right? Like you drive around it, there's like a bank right on your left. I think I've seen it before. Let me get a little closer to the side. Like there's like a bank that holds it all, so you can't even see it from the road, I don't think, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Never been to Florida. But if you look here, like it's kind of, yeah, see how it's like built up? So you can't even really see the water or across it from any of the roads around it. I don't want to say any. Obviously, I don't live there, so somebody will be like, yeah, actually, there's a corner where you... Okay, I don't know. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, if you kind of work your way along this road, it seems like it's always up. So I'm just saying people don't really see it every day. Like, oh, I drove by and see across the water. I think you'd have to actually get out and go over there. You can't see it from this road. So anyway, I'm just not saying that's the whole thing, but
well, I did at one point try get out on the tour in Florida somewhere, this really long stretch of water, and it was rough. It was just rough, man. Like it was so humid that like it was hard to see anything. So
yeah, and then there's like marshland and stuff, so it's not always easy to get near it. But anyway, that's one. I just think there's lots of places across the Great Lakes. Like we see Chicago, but I'm surprised we don't see more. Like, oh, we did see that one of Milwaukee, right? Somebody saw Milwaukee from here.
I will tell you, if you go to the east side of Florida where they shoot rockets and you just drive to the rocket launch, it is so blatantly flat everywhere. It's insane. And if you go down towards the Keys, bro, it's just so obvious because you can see the ocean in like layers of colors. And it's like these horizontal layers of colors. And so you go to Florida, it's still very obvious that the earth is flat on more of like a macro type of observation, like when you drive around, because Florida is so flat that it's like all this water surrounding you is very noticeably flat. But to actually film long distance is tough. Like when we were in Key West, we could see this lighthouse. We could faintly see the lighthouse with our naked eye, but it was like tough to make it out on the camera.
Isn't Florida said to be the flattest state?
One of them, yeah. Florida or Kansas.
Yeah.
I think actually Florida is flatter than Kansas,
I think I'd say it's flatter. Like here, I was just looking, this is from wherever this is, but looking across to Milwaukee was, I just got turned around. Let me go back to the north up here. Better idea. So, I mean, if you're around these areas and you want to go out and look, I mean, Milwaukee across, no, I lost Milwaukee. Here it is. And because the buildings in Milwaukee, if I remember right, are like 400 or 500 feet at its highest. And this is, 88 miles along the coast, 78, 75, 77, 77. This way would be, 88, 89, 90. So, I mean, that's a huge distance to where if you can see anything over here from anywhere near the ground over here, and I'm talking, you could go as high as 20, 30, 40, 50 feet. It wouldn't even make a difference, right? I mean, you shouldn't be able to see at all. If you do 50, even if you're 50 feet high, or let's even go higher than that, because what did I say it was? How much? So 89 miles. So if you do 89 miles, let me just do that one real quick. 90 miles, distance in miles 90. Let's say you're up 100 feet high, just so you can get way up off the water. Then the refracted hidden is 3368. So, and the highest building is like 400 feet. So, I mean, again, these are the kind of observations I'm just surprised we don't see more of. There's nothing.
Okay, but their tactic has been successful in that sense. Like people are less inclined to go make the observations when they know that it's just automatically discounted with a hand wave dismissal of the word refraction.
Right. And true, but some of these would be, I mean, these are the kind of ones that would be insane, right? I mean, if you're talking 3368 refracted and you're able to see any of these buildings, if I run my mouse over here, the elevations are kind of weird. You have to remember that the elevation here is higher than sea level. So it's not, at the shore here, it's 575. So where you're actually looking from is 575. You don't need to put that in as your observer height. Don't get confused on that, because it's a flat lake, obviously. So it's not like you don't need to put 575 as your viewer height, because you're actually looking at the other side of the lake, which is 575. So then from there, you can look in here and see if there's anything drastically bigger, and there's not. I mean, there's nothing even in here. This is barely 1,000 feet here at the highest. 1,000 feet so far is the highest I've seen. Yeah, so that'd be just crazy. You could actually be up way high over here, and I don't know if there's any mountains over. I don't even know where this is, what state this is. But
what's the lake like? Right around 610.
Looks like 575.
570. Yeah. Okay.
You want places that are not humid and cold. Honestly, like, you know, what's so funny is maybe one of the best places on Earth to make a flat Earth observation, if there is something at the center, is towards the North Pole.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the best I got over Lake Michigan was in the springtime when the water and the air was about the same temperature.
California is pretty good too.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. You get less evaporation happening when the temperatures are the same, real close to being the same.
Yeah, you don't want that big variance, for sure. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's been hit and miss. Whether it's a summer day or I mean, I can tell right when I come over the hill. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be great. Oh, it's not gonna be great, just by the look at the water and see.
And then, like when you see the great days, you come over the hill and you're like, oh my god, get down there real quick before it stops. Yeah,
it's crispy and clear, but usually those are cooler days, but not too cold. If it's too cold, then you get that kind of weird, I don't know if they call it a marine layer or a haze or something, but it has to be kind of crisp. I don't know. It's a hit and miss, and that's why I know it's tough, because especially me, I live now about 3 hours from there. So it's like you don't want to go over there for a day and then get there and see that you get discouraged. Like, damn it, now the weather's not good today. But even if the weather's great, like Austin said, they've kind of discouraged in the fact of why would I want to go look at sunsets again if no matter what we see, they just still say, no, that's refraction.
Or it's just easier to just do it for yourself, and then because it like you gotta
you
gotta make sure you do every little thing, and they're gonna find any excuse. But
well, and the other thing is too that bothers me is this whole idea of get the temperature gradient around you. I don't understand why that's anywhere near important, because let's say you take the area around you. Well, that's a 3-foot column, but you're looking across. Like they were asking me, like, where's your temperature data from your San Clemente observation? I'm like, I didn't get the temperature data. And they're like, oh, well, then we could actually do the math on it in the refraction if you would have got that. I'm like, listen, if I took the temperature data from the 3-foot column I'm in, so that's 3 feet. So that means there's 1,700 columns of air equal to that, or in the first mile. And we're looking at 75 miles away. So if we multiply that by 10 miles, now we're looking at, what would that be? 17,000 columns. So now you multiply that to get 100 miles, you're talking about 170,000 columns of air. Why would one be okay for anything? Why would we allow you to look at one?
Yeah, that's your just average for all of them. I'll just take this one and say it applies to all of them.
It applies to all 170,000 of these columns. We're just going to apply it and then make some mathematics on it. But again, it's because they know that by putting in those math figures, they'll be able to come out with a number, and then they just apply that and call it refraction. Right.
But this is the problem, though, that it normally doesn't even work. Okay, this is the funniest part.
Well, it does, but they can move the slider, and then they get the amount of refraction to match your observation, and then they call that science.
Well, as I'm saying, but what I'm saying doesn't work is taking an equation and saying, okay, vertical density gradient, vertical temperature gradient, humidity, blah, blah, blah. Measure the actual variables, plug it into the calculator, and tell us what you see, and it matches what we see. That doesn't happen. It doesn't even happen. And I've been telling them to give me that for so long. I'm like, I'll go out right now. Because according to them, they're so positive about refraction and how it works. That means that we should be able to take an observation. If you know my observer height, you know the distance of, say, the mountains that I'm observing, and you know their height. If I give it to you, you should be able to tell me the weather. You should be able to tell me the temperature gradient, at least like the percentage change, the rate of change of temperature, all this stuff, right? You should be able to tell me the weather with a picture. Exactly. Yep. Of course they can't do that. It's ridiculous.
Observers, you want your observation first, then they take your observation and fudge the numbers around until it matches. Yeah. And that's refraction, that's science.
That's what I'm saying. And whenever they come and say, hey, look, here's the Earth's a globe, do they ever give you like the temperature gradients and the density gradient? Of course not. They don't do any of that.
Yeah, that's when I stopped trying to figure it out. Like once I figured out the optics part of it getting cut off, but trying to do an observation and know what the atmosphere is doing over 30 miles. Like, you'd have to have it at least every, even to be accurate, somewhat every 1/8 of a mile. And then
them to say they've measured refraction, that means that they must have done that. Right, at some point.
I'm saying it's all just a lie. It's like a house of cards. So, for sure, because I've been in the trenches, bro. Like
But LIGO would be perfect. Let's stop the stupid measuring, what is it, gravity waves. Yeah, we're going to stop that. We're going to fill that with water or something like that, and we're going to do observations where we can control the atmosphere in that place and change things and see what actually happens. I think that'd be great. A 2-mile long corridor that you could control everything and have sensors set up everywhere.
Are you guys down to move over?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let me read this last thing here. Dakota Dunn, thank you for bringing great info and explanation to the listeners each week. Love you guys and take care. Thank you so much. Very generous, $50. Got us to 50% of our goal. We're at 50% of our goal. We got an hour to reach the goal. Let's get it. All right, we're going to move over to Rockfin. That's rockfin.com/globebusters. The mods have been dropping the link. They're going to drop the link again. Austin is drunk and angry. What? I don't even drink like that. And I think the mods will drop the link again if you guys don't mind helping us out. And we'll move over there. It's set to free. You don't even need an account. I tried it in incognito. You can just click the link and then watch it. And we'll talk about some stuff that we can't talk about here. So cool. You guys got anything you want to say to the YouTube audience before we get out of here?
No, I was just reading Zach's response to Harmon was funny. Okay, go ahead.
I just finished writing my 6th book, and my 5th book is out on Amazon. There's a series called the Y series. If you just type my name in, it'll pop right up. If you're interested in children's nursery rhyme books. Once I get 10, I'm going to start sending them out to publishing companies.
Harmon's learning to read from him, so that's good.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, cool. We're good?
Yep. We're good.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for kicking it on YouTube. Don't be lame. Come over to Rockfin so we can talk uncensored and help support the channel. Cool. All right. And then I think there was someone donated right before. Archer with a very generous $100 donation to pop us over our goal at 200. What a legend, right before we left. Thank you so much, Archer, for the donation on Ko-fi. We reached our goal. You are awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Much love.
Yeah, that was clutch. All right. Thank you so much. And we have 303 on YouTube. So we should see the number pop up by at least 200 because I know some people have them both pulled up. All right. Don't be lame. Go to Rockfin. I love you guys. We'll catch up with you next week, I'm assuming. I don't know if I'll be here based on the baby, but talk to you guys later.
Later.
Peace.